Hey, yo, what's going on? So I received an email regarding my videos, and this individual said, "Hey, listen, man, why don't you speak more about motivational type of things? Seems like you have a good channel. Seems like you have a decent voice, but could you talk about more motivational things?" Now, for this brother, I don't suppose that you come to this channel expecting, motivational speeches. I don't believe that my channel is motivational speech written. There's plenty of motivational channels that flood this platform, from Eric Thomas all the way down, and the list goes on. So this channel is primarily for truth, reality, what's going on inside of society right now. It's not to motivate you and then tomorrow you need that again, and then tomorrow you need that again, and then tomorrow you need that again. This is more of keeping focused, staying alert, and being able to watch out for yourself what's going on with society today. But I don't want to stay too long on that. I appreciate any emails, any feedback that you may have. But the topic of this video is the cost of living today in 2026 and how it's becoming unbearable. All right, so let's get into it. So what we have is wage versus inflation. Wage versus inflation. All right, so wages, obviously, most of you know that it is what you're paid after you do the job. So you receive a paycheck after you've done the job, and on that paycheck is a bundle of numbers that represents what a company paid you, which is your wages. On the side of that, you have inflation. Inflation is something that will go up depending on the circumstance, right? Now, wages versus inflation. The reason why it will continue to become more unbearable is because the wages that you produce are not going to keep up with the speed of inflation, right? So remember, inflation is a number that continues to go up depending on the circumstance, okay? So let's use a number for example, right? Let's use California's minimum wage because it's technically larger than the other minimum wages in the other states, right? So we don't want to use $8 because that's just too easy for me to explain. Let's use a minimum wage of California. Let's say $19. I think, what is it, $18 or $19 minimum wage? $18 or $19 minimum wage. Now, let's say that you have a specific product that you buy all the time, and that product is like 10 bucks. Let's just say 10 bucks, right? And that product at 10 bucks every single week continues to go up in price, right? So one week it's 10 bucks, the next week it's 11 bucks, the next week it's 12, 13, 14, because the weeks don't stop, 15, 16, and then you realize the next prior month that it is 20 bucks and it's the exact same amount that's your minimum wage. So that same product that you're buying based on inflation is now 20 bucks. And what do you get paid? 18 to 20 bucks. Right. Now, you may have been working for years. You may even be doing 2, 3, 4, 5 different jobs on that one job that you do. But your pay is going to stay relatively the same. You're going to be in that margin of $18 to $20 for a long period of time. And then they may throw something at you where you get a 50 cent raise. Boom, 50 cent. You're a winner now. So now you're making $18.50 an hour, okay? However, that's not how inflation works. Inflation is going to continue to move. So based on the relative speed of you and your wages versus the inflation, that product that was once $10 is now $20, and it's not going to stop. It's going to go from 20 to 21 to 22 to 23 to 24 to 20. It's not going to stop. That's inflation. So it gets unbearable because you're not going to be able to beat inflation on a relative basis. You can barely keep up with all the other stuff that you got going on. You have your mortgage, you got your rent, you got your utilities, you got your car note, you got your car insurance, and the list goes on. And then you got this product that you buy all the time, whether it could be food, whether it could be medicinal, whether it could be, for the skin. It doesn't matter. Inflation is going to take that number and it's going to catapult that number until no return. Now it may stop, and it may stop at $20 for like maybe, a month. The feds are going to talk about how they cut rates and how they cut spending, and the number will stop. But then after that, it just keeps going again. But you cannot keep up with that. Not as one person doing one thing and getting paid the same amount. You guys get where I'm going? Because at the end of the day, you were not built to be this inflation beating machine. Because you now realize that there's a cost on living. Let me say that again. There's a cost on living. Make it make sense. So it's just that we have been tricked psychologically that our game is to be played as to beat what this oligarch has done, what this government has done, to have put this game in front of you that you need to be able to beat this game. When in reality, I believe the majority of healthy-minded people, or in which if they still have their mind, is that they want a peace of mind. You're a spiritual-based person. You were never here. You were never put here to play somebody's inflation game. But I don't think you guys are hearing me. Because every month you have to find a way to pay the rent. You have to find a way to pay the mortgage. You have to find a way to keep up with car insurance. Think about this. Car insurance at one point in time was $200. $200 based on your age, based on your driving record, right? Remember driving record and all of that. And then out of nowhere, California goes from $200 a month to $1,000 a month premium for car insurance. But then you go and you say, well, how did that happen? I thought that you had to have a good driving record. You had to be above this age of 21 and your insurance would be absolutely fine. No, not at all. The game changes when they change the rules that they created. So now you find yourself paying $1,000 premium for car insurance, and you're wondering, like, why am I paying so much for car insurance and that shit is more than my car note? And then people come to me and they say, hey man, why don't you make motivational videos? I don't have the luxury of making motivational videos when you need to understand reality. Does that make sense? So it's crazy that you have to fight every month in order to do that, especially when the rules continue to change. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you guys have to, prioritize what's more important. You have to prioritize what's more important. Do you want a peace of mind, or do you want to continue playing this keeping up with the Joneses game, trying to get this car, trying to get that car, trying to get this house, trying to get that house, when in reality, all you're doing is you're compounding debt. You're compounding debt on top of each other. And you had to think about it, guys. A fixed rate mortgage, a 30-year fixed rate mortgage, that means they expect you to pay that house off within 30 years. What happens if you don't make it to 30 years? Then everything would have been in vain. It's a game here. It's a game in America. But because my people thought that this is our birthplace, and because we helped build the majority of the place, and we house the largest portion of entertainment inside of the United States, that we must play this game. But this is not where we were born. This is not who we were built to be. We're spiritual beings. So you're playing this game that you did not create. It's gonna get exhausting. And all I'm saying is that with the cost of living, remember you got a cost on living, it's gonna get more and more unbearable. So what you guys want to do is, and some of you guys are saying, behind the lens is, well, what is your solution? I mean, you got all the info. What is your solution? Right? My solution is find a way to gather a peace of mind. Because at the end of the day, your mental health is going to play a big role, and your health is wealth. Right? And it took me some time to learn that, man. I was also one of these guys that, I got to get this. I got to get that. I got to get it before this. I got to get it before that. And then it's like, for what? Why? And then some of you guys are probably like, well, I've been doing this. This is, I love collecting these different, shoes and cars. And okay, great. Collect them. If that's what you want to do, collect them, because if that makes you happy, then great. But don't play this game that you have to have every single thing because of what you see online, what you see scrolling down your timeline. Because you're just going to destroy yourself. Remember, you're compounding debt. Every time you have to go out and you got to hit that credit card, soon. Every time you got to hit that credit card, you're building debt. And not only are you building debt, you're adding to the debt of the country. Remember, if you watch my other videos, I did explain to you that we're $37 trillion in debt. So as you continue to play this American game, it's going to get tougher and tougher. And at some point, it's going to phase you out because you're not going to be able to keep up with it. But as a solution, get a peace of mind. With that being said, guys, that's all I got for you. Thanks for watching this video. Until next time, peace.